Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Cybersecurity Ranger. Before I begin the video, I will request you to please subscribe to the channel. So in my previous video, I demonstrated how you can hack Windows 10 by using multi-handler. The same method you can use to hack Windows 7 as well and Windows 11 as well. I will be demonstrating other ways also that how you can gain access to the system. But today I want to demonstrate that once you have gained access using a Meterpreter session, what can you do with the Meterpreter? So I'm going to use the same exploit that I used in my previous demonstration. That is multi-handler. Going to use set lhost, the IP address of Kali Linux, and show options. Sorry. I'm going to change the payload as well. So I'm going to use the Meterpreter payload. Set payload, Windows, Meterpreter, reverse TCP. And then I'm going to exploit. I'm going to execute the exe file, which I already transferred on the target system. Once I double click, I'll have the Meterpreter session, as you can see. So now we'll talk about what you can do with the Meterpreter. So the first thing is using the help command. Now, help command is basically where you can see all the options that you have that you can use with this Meterpreter session. So here you can see some of the networking commands. You can see some system commands. You can see various user interface commands, webcam commands, audio output commands, how to elevate your privileges, password database commands, timestamps, etc. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will cover some of the most important commands that can be used. So the first thing that once you have the Meterpreter session, I can use get sysinfo. Get system. No. Let me check. I think it's sysinfo. So what sysinfo does is that it will tell you the information about the target system. So here you can see the computer name is PC1, the operating system is Windows 7, whether it's a member of work group or a domain, and how many users are logged in. So currently we can see that one user is logged in. So let's get the user ID by using the command getuid. Now getuser ID will give you the information on the user who is currently logged in. So we have the administrator, but administrator, remember, does not have the maximum privileges. So in order to get the maximum privileges, you need to be the system user. So I will cover privilege escalation as a separate video as well, but we'll see if we can get privileges by using the command called get system. You can see here, Windows 7 is vulnerable to privilege escalation, and we have got the system privileges via technique 1. Pretty simple, but you cannot apply the same method on Windows 10. So on Windows 10, how we will escalate the privileges, I'm going to cover that in another video. So once you have the system access, let's just check and get the user ID again. Now you can see that from administrator, we have moved to the system. Now system has the maximum privileges, right? So this is a way in Windows 7 how you can escalate your privileges. And in any system for that matter, you would want to have the system privileges. Otherwise, you won't be able to do everything that you want to do. All right, so now another command is called the hash dump. Now, what hash dump command does is that it will dump all the hashes from the database, from the SAM database of the Windows. So we can see here that I have administrator, user, Ali, Dell, FTP, guest user, test user. And then you can see here the hashes of each of these users. Now, you might be wondering that, okay, what good is this hash? Well, you can use hash crackers. I'll also demonstrate how you can crack a hash when I'm making a series on password cracking. But remember that hash is actually a one-way function. It's an irreversible function. So I will describe later that what are the techniques that are used to actually get the hash, since it's a one-way. So if you have the hash, doesn't mean that you can actually reverse it and get the password, but there are certain techniques by which you can. So I'll cover that. But remember that the hashes, if they are complex, I mean, the password, if it is a complex password, then probably you won't be able to crack the hash. But if the passwords are easy, you can use certain tools that can crack the passwords for you, right? So this is another important command that you can use within Meterpreter to dump the hashes of these, user accounts and then try to get the password. Another command that you can use is local time. It actually gives you the local time on the target system. Again, in certain situations, it might be important to know whether the user will be logged in at that time. And also there is another command called idle time. Idle time actually tells you for how long the system has been idle. This is, again, a very significant command in certain situations. Then we have PS. I think I demonstrated this in my previous video, but PS will give you the process list. So the processes which are running on the target system, you can see them here. There are lots of system processes, smss.exe, Windows logon process once you log in. This is also related to the users who are logged in. And then you can also see some other services. You can see here ranger.exe, the malicious file that we executed in order to gain access, is also running. I would also like to mention here that once you are having an access, you can actually migrate from this process to another process, which is probably should be a Windows process, that as long as that process is running, you will have the session, because this might get disconnected in certain scenarios. So if you don't want to lose the session that you currently have, you can actually try to migrate to one of these processes. So for example, I'm going to attach myself to the Windows logon process, which is 440. So in order to migrate from this, I'll use the command migrate and then the process ID. So remember, this is the process ID and this is the parent process ID. So this is currently a child process of this particular process, right? So I'm migrating to 440. And this will easily migrate you to the other process. So as long as that process is running, you won't lose the session, right? So this is also a very significant command. You can also use the pwd command to get the present working directory. So where you are right now in the Windows system that you exploited. There's also another way that you can use the shell command to have a shell access and actually navigate through that. But within Meterpreter also, you can see currently I'm in system 32. So for example, if I want to go to the desktop, I can go to the users directory. And in users, I can go to the administrator. In administrator, I can go to the desktop. And now you can see that I'm on the desktop of that target system. Now, this navigation is important because you might be looking to copy some files, download some files from the target system. So for instance, if I go to this cyber folder or directory, And there is a text file called ranger.txt. I already downloaded it, so I'm going to delete it here. So I can download it very easily by using the command download ranger.txt, and then I can point it to the local system where I want to save it. So let's save it on the desktop. So as you can see, I have downloaded the file ranger.txt, and similarly, I can upload the file as well, right? So if I want to create a backdoor and I want to upload that backdoor file here, so I can use, for example, the upload command ranger /root/ desktop. The tab is not working. Ranger.exe, and sorry, should be upload. So now you can see I have uploaded this particular exe file into the target system. I can use ls to see. As you can see, I have now uploaded a malicious file, and then I can execute it. You can use the execute command to execute a certain file on the target system. For instance, I want to execute this file, the one that I just uploaded. I will use execute command and then give the file name. I'm going to also show you another command called screenshot. So what screenshot will do is that it will take the screenshot of the target system. As you can see here, right now, this is the desktop of the target system. I have taken the screenshot of. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to use the execute command. As you can see that I don't have the Windows command shell open here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the execute command to open cmd.exe, right? So need to use -f to open it. Now you can see here it says that the process has been created. So if I take the screenshot again, I should be able to see that the command prompt or the command shell is open on the target system, right? So here you go. So you can see here that I have a command prompt. Somehow the desktop, the background is changed. I don't know why. But you can see here that now the command prompt or the command shell is also open on the target system. Okay, so this was about the execute command. You can also create new directories. So for example, I can create by using mkdir cybersecurity ranger to create a directory. So when you write ls, you can see here that there's a new folder or directory cybersecurity ranger created on the target system. Right, so let's go to some of the networking commands now. So you can use the route command to see the routing table or the routes available on the target system. So here you can see all the networks, their gateways, and the metric is also shown here. So you may want to play around with the these routes. Probably you want to modify them. You can also do that. There's also another important command called ARP. So ARP command actually tells you the ARP cache, gives you the information on the ARP cache of the target system. If you don't know what is ARP or ARP cache, you can look it up. So it basically keeps the MAC addresses of the systems with which this particular target has communicated. It's very good to get all this information about the routes and the ARP, because you probably may want to pivot into the network and try to move around to another system from this system, so you know that which systems are there on this network with which this particular target that we exploited is actually communicating with, right? So there you can see the ARP cache of the target. You can obviously use the ifconfig command as well to get the the interfaces and the IP addresses of the target system. No surprise. Now there's also another command that I usually don't recommend, but if you want to get the live desktop to see what's going on, on that system, instead of taking the screenshot, you can write screen share to actually get a live session of the desktop and see what's going on that system the user is doing. So you can see here, it has created, well, it's just taking some time to appear. So now you can see here that you have actually a live screen sharing of the target system. So if I do anything on the target system, let me just do something. I'm going to open a notepad. I'm going to write this is live. So now you should be able to see that on the Kali Linux happening, right? So this is also very interesting. Okay. Now, another interesting command that I would like to show you is, so it is shell. So when you write shell, you basically get a shell access to the target system. So now you can see here that from Meterpreter, I have the shell of the target system. Now remember, the Meterpreter commands will not work here because I have the shell access to the target. So only the Windows commands are going to be running. Like I can navigate here. I can use dir command and see the files and folders and everything, but I cannot run the Meterpreter commands here, right? But again, this is also one way. You can exit it and go back to the Meterpreter session. Now, another interesting command that I would like to show you is keyscan_start. I haven't used it for a long time, so I don't know if it's working, but let's try. So keyscan_start will basically act like a keylogger. So anything that is going on the target system should be logged here. So I'm going to say this is my password. I'm typing it on the target system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Let's check if the key scan worked. Now, once you have started, you need to dump it. Well, it didn't really work. Like I said, I haven't used it for a long time, so I'm not sure if it's still working, this module within the Meterpreter. But it used to work for me. I will check, maybe I can make it work later on. What else? Some of the commands like webcam, for example, they are actually useful when you have exploited a real system, but since it's a virtual machine, there are no webcam or camera access to that virtual machine. Therefore, you cannot see here that it says that there are no webcams found. But if you have exploited an actual system which has a webcam, it will show you the webcam. And then what's interesting is that actually you can take a snapshot by using webcam_snap. You can do the webcam chat, or you can also do the web stream, which means you can see the live video of the target who is using the system at that time. Right. One more thing I want to show you is the clear EV command. Now, I am on the target system, the one that I exploited, and let me show you the event viewer. Now, the event viewer is where the Windows saves the logs. So you can see here the application logs. You can see the security logs here as well. You can see the system logs here as well. So usually what the attacker wants to do is that he wants to clear the logs, right? So right now you can see all these logs. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go ahead and clear this log from the Meterpreter session. You can use the clear EV command. Clear EV stands for clear event viewer. And you can see here that it has wiped the records from the application, system, and security. So if I just refresh it and click on the security, all the security logs are gone. If I click on the system, all the system logs are gone. And if I click on the application, all the application logs are gone. So this, again, is a very interesting command in the Meterpreter. And there are plenty of them, but I think I have covered most of the important ones. Let me just use the help and see if we have something else. You can play the music or video on the target system by using play command. Yeah, one more thing, that if you want to take this session into the background and work around on another exploit, or you want to exploit another system, you can actually use the command background, and this will actually background your session. So now you can exploit another machine, you can exploit the same machine using another exploit. It's up to you what you want to do. However, if you want to get back to this session, you can use the command sessions. It will show you that currently you have session number 1, which is a Meterpreter session with this target. So if I want to interact with it again, I will use sessions-i is for interact and give the session ID, which is 1. And there we have the Meterpreter session, right? So you can do a lot of interesting stuff with the Meterpreter. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want me to cover a certain tool or a topic, apart from hacking as well, on the defense side as well, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.